What's up, guys? Jason WA's Revolution down here in the cave. That's right. Down here for a quick prelude, ladies and gentlemen, a quick prelude, a quick pre-show, a quick segue, if you will, because tonight is the debut of the brand new Wrestling with the Past. That's right, we've got a new format, we've got a new year, we've got 1984. It's happening tonight. Now, I come on here for two things. First, to ask your opinion about the Wrestling with the Past, how you want it, because it's all you guys who decide how you get it, how you want it, how I provide it to you. And then I want to talk about my Niagara... Sorry, something just came out of my mouth. I want to talk about the Niagara Falls trip real quick. First things first, Wrestling with the Past. There is no way in the world that I, and all of my words and vocabulary and passion are going to be able to do a 20-minute episode of Wrestling with the Past. It's not happening. So, I have completed January 7th, 1984 episode of Wrestling with the Past. It's done. It's in the hopper, as they say. And I'm realizing that it's about 50 minutes long. 45, 50 minutes long. Okay. So, you have two choices. I have already... I sort of knew where you would go with this, so I have done the episode in two parts. Part one, it's half the show, right? It's it's half the 1 hour episode or 44-minute episode of WWF Championship Wrestling, January 7th, 1984. Part one is done, edited, done, ready to go. In fact, it's going to be up at it's going to be up in an hour. It's going to be up after I hear from you guys. Okay. And part two just needs to be put together. I can put that together tonight. Maybe it'll be up overnight. Maybe it'll be tomorrow morning. Part one and part two of January 7th, 1984 is done and will be up. Do you want them in two parts? Okay. Do you want them in 24-minute episodes? 22, 20, 20, 21, 22, 20 to 24 minutes. Do you want that? That's not going to be the full episode. I can do a part one and a part two, both around 20 to 25 minutes a piece. Okay? And we'll cover each episode in two parts. Or I can do a full episode for you. Now, I get it. I understand the whole YouTube thing. It's hard to sit around for 45 minutes. It's hard to sit around for an hour. And maybe I'll lose people. Maybe people will fade out if it's too long. So here's your two choices. I can either do each episode in two parts, and the house shows might be three parts. Because the house shows are, sometimes 3 hours long. A full house show without commercials is probably like 2 hours and 35 minutes. Right? Like 11, 12 matches. So those might be three parts. And the TV shows will be two parts. Would you like them in two parts? 20 minutes, 25 minutes? Or would you like them all at once? Full on, 45, 50 minutes, an hour. The house shows might be longer. How do you want them presented to you? Tonight, for the pilot, we're going to go two parts. Because it's already done. All right, so let me know for the future how you want it. But if you're watching part one, make sure you watch part two. I'm going to load them back to back, okay? So, it's not like you're going to have to wait a week for part two, because it's all going to be filmed together, edited together, and then just cut in half and uploaded in two parts. So you won't have to wait. So just make sure you watch both parts and don't get lost. I don't want to lose anybody along the journey here. That's your mission number one. The second part is just to hang out, say hello, talk to yous. We went away this weekend. We went to Niagara Falls, which is an hour and 20 minutes away. We originally went because we'd heard the falls were frozen. and we thought that would be a cool, visual, and we'd take some photos that would live in our phone for the rest of our phone's life. And then we would do nothing with the photos, but that's what photos are these days. So then Liam suggested we get a hotel. And crazy spontaneous Dad says, yeah, let's do that. Well, okay. I can't complain and be a hypocrite that there are too many people out in hotels during a pandemic. I can't complain that there's too many people because I'm one of the too many people. But the way the hotel made it sound when I called, this is the Sheraton, by the way, the Sheraton in Niagara Falls, New York. We can't get across the border. Canada's closed. They won't let anybody in. Okay, because they're doing it right. But the Sheraton in Niagara Falls, or as I now refer to it as, really crappy, horrible, hole-in-the-ground place.com, they made it sound that, reservation, you don't need one, show up, plenty of rooms, nobody's here. Pool's open, game room is open, come on. Right. Well, we get there, and it is jam-packed with people. I've never waited in a longer line to check in to a crappy hotel as this one. Extremely long line, and as we're waiting in line, now the children, all they wanted to do was swim. Right? We have a pool, but all they wanted to do was swim. While we're waiting in the line to check in, we see hordes of people with their towels around their necks, with their flip-flops on. Some Neanderthals weren't even wearing shoes as they were walking through the lobby to get to the pool. And we all just looked at them and looked at ourselves and said, we're not swimming. We're not swimming. I don't care if it's COVID or no COVID. I don't swim with 85 other people. No thanks. I don't do that. I don't swim with 85 other people. You know why? Because if you swim with 85 other people, you swim with 85 people's bodily fluids. Guaranteed. Okay? So I don't do that. That's not happening. The children were slightly disappointed by that until I mentioned the bodily fluids, and then Liam was like, I'm good, right? I'm good. Well, okay, so fine. You're thinking, wow, we're going to have a great room, a really nice room with wonderful smart TV, and we can stream all of our shows. We can watch Family Matters and Full House all night long. It's going to be great, right? Wrong. It's not great. The Sheraton in Niagara Falls has a TV from about 1948, right? And by that I mean it's not smart. And whatever local cable company they had about 19 channels. And it was garbage. It was horrible. We didn't bring a Blu-ray player because I thought there'd be a modern TV. There wasn't. So that was rough. But we made the best of it, and we ordered a overly priced but delicious meal. Right? I'll give them those kudos. The Rainforest Cafe at the Sheraton Niagara Falls was delightful and overpriced. But what the heck? We're in a hotel. You splurge. The game room was a very miniature version of Dave and Buster's, right? It had all those games that you gotta swipe a card and you get points. And they're not really video games. They're kind of like games of skill and chance. And that was $35 for about 20 minutes of gameplay. While we waited for our food to be ready, we played the games. And no, we didn't eat in the restaurant. We brought our food to our room. Because I'm not eating in a restaurant either right now. I'm not doing it. Yeah, the game room was a bust. And then, we got like 100 points on the card, that we can now cash in for presents, for prizes. What are you doing? You can't play Atari right now. I can't hook it up. It's not plugged in. Just finish Sonic. But when it came time to cash in our prizes for, I don't know, a spider ring or a candy, the machine where the prizes were held was broken. They had a call in to the company. The company rep was coming out to fix the machine. So, back to the room. We ate our meal. Dad was able to confiscate a few beers, overly priced beers, $6 a can, from the hotel lobby, but that soothed soothed the evening a little bit. And, we found Monsters, Inc. and Ratatouille on the TV. And we closed the shades and settled into our, semi-acceptable beds early, 8:30, 9 o'clock. There was some talk of going home, of just wrapping it up and going home. But we survived. We survived the evening. We got up and we couldn't have got out of there faster. 7:30 we were on the road to come home. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like, seclusion for too long that I'm not comfortable going out to hotels right now. But it was weird, right? It felt weird. And I guess that's what the COVID seclusion has done to some of us who have secluded, as we have, is it feels weird. And again, I can't say the ridiculous amount of people because we were one of them, but there was a ridiculous amount of people in this hotel. So that's that. Home we come, comfy and cozy in our domicile, right, Finn?
Yep.
Yeah.
In our comfy beds.
In our comfy beds. You got that right. How was your bed? You want to talk on the camera a little bit? You want to tell them how the bed was? Did you sleep with Dad last night?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And it's kind of a pimple bed.
A pimple bed. Yes, we called it a pimple bed because there were
bumps.
Like overly washed sheets, like 700 times you've washed a sheet and they get those little fabric cotton nubbies on them. Horrible. Anyway, Sheraton, Niagara Falls, no good. No good. $105 was the initial price that I was charged, and then with all the taxes, I think it went up to like $146. But I guess what do you want for a $106 hotel, right? That's that. So vote. Let me know how you want to proceed with Wrestling with the Past. And in about, I'd say about an hour, the debut episode will be up. Enjoy it. We'll see you soon. I really had fun doing Wrestling with the Past. It's my favorite show on the channel. Good night now.